2001: A Space Odyssey was directed by Stanley Kubrick in 1968 at a time when NASA was in a race to put a man on the moon. In attempts to make this film futuristically accurate, Kubrick and his team conducted an immense amount of research and even brought in astronomical artists, aeronautics specialists, and aerospace engineers to design the sets and props. 2001: A Space Odyssey was officially released in April 1968, a year before Apollo 11 landed on the moon. In an interview with Playboy magazine, Kubrick was asked repetitively about the meaning of the film, specifically alluding to the evolution from ape to human to superhero aspects of the film. He refused to answer the question and stated, "It's not a message that I ever intended to convey in words. 2001 is a nonverbal experience. Out of 2 hours and 19 minutes of film, there are only a little less than 40 minutes of dialogue. I tried to create a visual experience, one that bypasses verbalized pigeonholing and directly penetrates the subconscious with an emotional and philosophical content. I intended the film to be an intensely subjective experience that reaches the viewer at an inner level of consciousness, just as music does. To explain a Beethoven symphony would be to emasculate it by erecting an artificial barrier between conceptual and appreciation. You're free to speculate as you wish about the philosophical and allegorical meaning of the film, and such speculation is one indication that it has succeeded in gripping the audience at a deep level. But I do not want to spell out a verbal roadmap. I think that if 2001 succeeds at all, it is reaching a wide spectrum of people who would not often give thought to a man's destiny, his role in the cosmos, and his relationship to higher forms of life." Kubrick was passionate about not assigning a meaning to the film in order to allow people to seek the meaning for themselves. According to Looking at Movies, editing is defined as the basic creative force of filmmaking and is a process of selecting, arranging, and assembling the essential components of a movie, visual sound, and special effects to tell a story in a unique way. The two main approaches to editing are continuity and discontinuity. Continuity seeks to achieve logic, smoothness, sequential flow that is maintained from shot to shot, while discontinuity breaks the rules by seeking to achieve transition between shots that are not smooth. An example of continuity shot in 2001: A Space Odyssey is the graphic match cut where the ape's bone weapon is a similar shape and form and position to the spacecraft that is in the next shot. The two shots reinforce the film's themes of relativity of time and evolution of creation. An example of a discontinuous shot in the film is the jump cuts we see as the ape uses the bone weapon to bust the animal skeleton. We see the animal running wild before its fatal end, and ultimately falling to the ground. The purpose of this editing technique was to show the instant reversal of the action. Viewers are reminded of the once running animal as its bones are destroyed. Now taking a look at another movie. There are similarities between 2001: A Space Odyssey and Kubrick's 1964 film Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Kubrick made both films to send a message about the current events that were taking place. Dr. Strangelove was released at the height of the Red Alert, in which Americans feared nuclear warfare. Both films portray the prominent happenings of the time in a thought-provoking manner. While Dr. Strangelove puts a humorous spin on people's fear, and 2001 takes a more serious approach, both films force people to think about the current situation in a unique way. We also see a jump cut in Dr. Strangelove similar to the shot in 2001 that was previously mentioned. The first shot shows a bomber in the foreground making its way across the sky. The next shot is the radar tracking the progress of the bomber. Both shots have same characteristics, just different objects. In conclusion, 2001: A Space Odyssey is a film that not only teaches us about editing techniques, but makes viewers dig deep to understand the meaning of their life in the context of the entire universe and time.